The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
This is Lee from Realspiritdynamics, and I'm going to talk about how everything in the universe is energetically connected and how this falls into perfect sync with your conscious experience. And I'm also going to talk about how to recognize when the universe is communicating with you every hour, every minute, and every second. So based on our current evidence, most of us presume that the Big Bang Theory is the likelihood of how the universe began. And for the benefits of this video, I want to assume this theory is correct, because what I'm about to say in this video does fall in line with that theory. So let's assume everything in the universe started from one specific point. And since that point, everything was and still is connected. Now there is evidence for this with quantum entanglement, which showed us that the particles, when separated, actually remain connected without the constraints of time and space. So what I'm proposing in this video is that because we ourselves are made of those particles, then our consciousness itself is also connected to everything else in the universe. So when we talk about consciousness, we're basically talking about the five senses, which is sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Now I've been monitoring my surroundings for the past few years, and I've come to the conclusion that whatever's presented to our five senses at any given moment is happening for a specific reason at that specific time for that specific reason. Not only that, if you observe this very closely, you'll notice that the universe is constantly giving you clues to show you that everything is happening for a reason. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper here than what people usually associate with things happening for a reason. For instance, you might lose your job only to find a better job, or you might end a long-term relationship or a marriage. You might be devastated at the time, but later on you'll find that you find a better relationship because of that. Now these things are happening for good reason, but the more you observe your surroundings and actually look at this more deeply, the more you'll notice that the universe is actually making these things happen, and it has you in mind when it very cleverly does this. So let's say you're walking down a busy street and you see a street performer performing one of their songs on the side of the road. Now if you stop at that specific point and take the time to listen to the lyrics of that song, you'll notice that the lyrics are actually related to something going on in your life at that specific moment. Now this is fair enough. This is a synchronicity which a lot of people on the spiritual path are actually experiencing more and more lately. However, when I've looked deeper into this, what I've noticed is that not only is that a synchronicity for you, but once you become aware that that's a synchronicity for you, your consciousness projects a signal to the external environment in order for the universe to give you a sign to show you that you are correct. Now this is going a little bit deep, so I'm going to say this in a slightly different way here. When you become aware that that synchronicity is designed to help you at that specific point in time, your consciousness projects a signal to all the particles within your proximity to make something happen for the universe to show you that you were correct. Now, the signs the universe gives you here come in many different forms. For instance, you might hear a car beeping its horn in the background, or you might hear an alarm go off all of a sudden. Or you could hear snippets of somebody's conversation walking past, and you'll hear things along the lines of, "He was right," or "Yes, that's correct." You'll hear little snippets like that. But what I've found is that when the universe does this, it's usually very fast. It's like a very fast reaction. Now I realize this is quite deep, but this still is just the tip of the iceberg here. because the universe is working in ways that we cannot yet fully comprehend, where everything is all connected. And an example of this would be, say for instance, that alarm goes off to alert you that your synchronization was for you. Now, not only is that alarm going off for you, but it's also going off for every single conscious observer within its proximity as well, to alert them that the universe is showing something for them to help them in their evolutionary process as well. So the universe is working in extremely complex ways here, and I don't yet fully think that we can fully comprehend this. But what I do think is that in the future we will have technology which will shed light on this a little bit further. Now, this also falls in line with a lot of the synchronicities people on the spiritual path are currently experiencing. But these as well are still just the tip of the iceberg, because the more I've observed these synchronicities, the more I've found that these are working like a kind of game, and it's up to you how far you want to take the game. I'll give you an example of this. Say for instance you're in a coffee shop and you're daydreaming about dream catchers. So you finish your coffee, you go out the coffee shop, and lo and behold, somebody walks past with a dream catcher tattooed on their arm. This is classed as an everyday synchronicity for a lot of spiritual people, and this is happening more and more lately. But what I've noticed is if you go even deeper into this, and you make the conscious choice to go and speak to that person with the dream catcher on their arm, the universe opens up a whole new dynamic. And this gets more and more interesting, and it goes deeper and deeper, and it's giving you the opportunity to take the game as far as you want to take it. Now, this brings up another dynamic which I'm actually unaware of here. So if anybody watching this video understands this, please comment. And that is the fact that I'm not sure if the universe gives us these signs because we're aware of them, or whether or not these signs are happening whether we're aware of them or not. Because if our conscious awareness is required for the universe to give us the signs, then this would shed new light on the double slit experiment and how us as the conscious observer affects our external reality. Now, when I first noticed this, I noticed that within our consciousness, the past, present and future are all one. And this allows this to happen. And I'm going to use music as an example for this, because say for instance somebody records a music track and then that track is put out there into the universe. From that specific point, that track is relayed in specific points of space and time where the conscious observer surrounding that point needs to hear those lyrics at that specific time, which would tell us that the artist that wrote those lyrics in the past recorded those lyrics in the present, and those lyrics are then projected in the future to help many, many people on their spiritual evolutionary path. And this goes on and on. Even the weather, for instance, is happening at a specific time for a specific reason. A quick example of this would be, say it was a nice sunny day and you went to the beach and it suddenly started to rain. So because it rains, you pack up and you go home. When you go home, you might put on the TV or put on YouTube, and you might watch a video that could change your life. And if it didn't rain, you wouldn't have seen that video. So this is why even you watching this video right now is happening for a specific reason, at this specific time, for a specific purpose in your life. Now, although this is currently just a theory, my prediction is that the future will possibly prove this, because as technology progresses, then we're going to get a technology eventually where it can record our actual conscious experience. And with repetitive playback of people's conscious experiences, we're going to start to see these signs and how the universe is all connected. And I'm currently documenting my experiences with this, so I will make a future video to show you guys exactly how far the game can go. So with this information, be aware of what the universe is actually showing you. And remember, the universe has your back. Everything it does is designed to help you in a specific way, whether you realize it or not. So with that said, try and recognize the universe communicating with you in this way, and try not to resist what the universe is showing you. This is why a lot of the advanced spiritual teachers teach the path of least resistance. And although they may not go as deep as what I have in this video, the overall message is the same. Just basically go with the flow. And if you are within a point in your spiritual evolution where you are looking for these signs but struggling, then there are certain tools you can use to see more of your surroundings. And these tools come in the form of plant medicines such as cannabis or low doses of LSD. But these should only be used within moderation by those who fully understand their benefits, because these act as reality enhancers and they actually show you more of what's going on around your external environment. So start to notice the universe showing you these signs, and always use these abilities with unconditional love, and remember that the universe has your back, and see how quickly you evolve because of this. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this content, and please leave a comment about your experiences with this. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.